Hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's episode of Halftime on the Hudson. Alongside Jasper Chu, I'm John Rohr. Let's get started with our hot take segment. With the U.S. men's national team failing to qualify for next summer's World Cup, it's time for some drastic changes, starting with Major League Soccer. The playoffs kicked off last week and won't conclude until mid-December, thanks to an international break that will put the most important part of the season on hold, so our sorry excuse for national team can play a throwaway game against Portugal. But it isn't the international break that's the problem. It's time for Commissioner Don Garber to wake up and smell the coffee. If Major League Soccer wants to be considered on par with Europe's 5 major leagues, it needs to start acting like them. This starts with adopting the traditional late summer to spring schedule, because after all, no one wants to play a game in Orlando in mid-July. And Mr. Garber, it might just help your TV ratings as well, because there's absolutely no way on earth you can compete with the NFL and MLB postseason. And while playoffs are as American as apple pie, it's time for those to go too. A game at the beginning of the season should be just as important as a game at the middle and at the end of the season. And finally, it's time to stop rewarding teams for being just flat out bad. The NASL is already in place. Major League Soccer is ready and needs a system of promotion and relegation.
Draymond Green and Bradley Beal did their best WWE impression in celebration for Halloween by duking it out on the hardwood this past Friday. Tempers flared after Green and Beal took fighting for a loose ball too seriously in the second quarter. Both were ejected, resulting from a scrum that spilled over in the seats. After the game, Green felt like he was the victim, claiming that the refs are targeting him for his ejection. Green commented, quote, "There's history with me in the NBA. That's the only reason I can think of why I was ejected," end quote. Although Draymond is notorious for being an extremely loud and physical player, along with some unnecessary roughness, what Bradley Beal did was unacceptable and absolutely deserved the retaliation. However, Draymond shouldn't be mad he got ejected from the game. He has already received a technical foul in the game for barking at the officials, so it makes sense that he would get ejected. I absolutely disagree with his victim card move because he deserves to be the public enemy number one for officials after his kicking incidents with Steven Adams, James Harden. Green just got to learn how to respect the stripes and play some clean basketball.
The NFL's image problem only got worse last week when Houston Texans owner Robert McNair was quoted saying, "We can't have the inmates running the prison." This soundbite only Donald Sterling can be proud of sent shockwaves throughout the Texans locker room, and star wide receiver DeAndre Hopkins was noticeably absent from practice on Friday. Unsurprisingly, the majority of the Texans responded by taking a knee before Sunday's game against Seattle. At the same time, Washington owner Dan Snyder was caught saying that he believes 96% of Americans are for the guys standing. Unsurprisingly, this is the same man who doesn't understand how anyone could possibly be offended by his team's name. These comments came just a few days after Kaepernick filed a lawsuit alleging collusion against the NFL and its owners. Yesterday, as the trade deadline came and went, the 0-8 Cleveland Browns attempted to trade for backup quarterback A.J. McCarron, rather than sign a proven quarterback who's led their team to the Super Bowl and nearly won the thing. And what is the second most divisive man in America, Roger Goodell, going to do about this growing list of issues? Absolutely nothing.
The NFL trade deadline kicked off with the New England Patriots sending quarterback Jimmy Garoppolo to the San Francisco 49ers in return for a second-round draft pick in the 2018 draft. The winless Niners were in need of a stable quarterback, and who better to do it than Tom Brady's backup to fill the role. The 2014 second-round draft pick is 2-0 in starts and has 5 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, and 690 passing yards. After trading Jacoby Brissett to the Indianapolis Colts earlier this year, the Patriots quarterback Wolfpack had a look of concern when 5-time Super Bowl champ was the lone wolf in the depth chart. The Patriots recently signed Brian Hoyer to keep him company, who was released by the Niners to make room for Jimmy G. I think this trade was very bold and means that the Bill Belichick puts a lot of trust in a 40-year-old Tom Brady to be under center for the next couple of years. It makes sense to exchange Garoppolo for something in return since this was his last year of his contract and would probably test free agency next year. In my opinion, this was a smart trade since the Browns, who were heavily involved in Jimmy G trade talks during the summer, were offering similar picks in return and would pose a threat in the AFC if Jimmy Garoppolo thrives in Cleveland. When we come back, reporter Eddie Whitman will be sitting down with a special guest. Stay tuned.
Hey guys, I'm Eddie Whitman. I'm sitting here with Marist men's basketball forward Alex Dosic. Alex is a 6'9" forward from Montenegro. He'll be playing his first year competitively at Marist after transferring from Marshall a season ago. How are you doing tonight, Alex?
I'm doing great. Happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks for joining us. So let's get started. After sitting out last season because of the NCAA transfer rules, how excited are you to get back on the floor this year?
I'm beyond excited, man. I think in November it's going to be 18 months since I played my last game with Marshall at Conference USA tournament. It's kind of surreal. There's going to be only in 10 days, but honestly, I can't wait. I'm really excited.
Yeah, it should be an exciting year for the team. What are your expectations for the team this year?
Honestly, I really think we have a really good team. A lot of people doubt us. They put us in 10th place in the MAC conference this year. I really think that's kind of disrespectful toward us because we have a really good junior class, and with me and some other new really good freshmen, I really think we can go high, even winning a ring. Honestly,
that's great. What do you think about this team? What do you think is different this year compared to last year?
I think this year is different. We don't really have one, I would say, superstar. Khalil was really our best player last year, by far our best player. And so we were our game was based on him. And so I think this year we're gonna value teamwork a lot. And I think this is gonna be our biggest team. I think we're gonna improve on defense too. And I think teamwork will be the biggest key and hopefully our biggest asset this year.
And do you feel like this team's being overlooked in the MAC? I know you talked about being disrespected as 10th place, but
definitely. I mean, we did have Mary's had bad reputation the last 10 years, and I understand where they're coming from, but still, I think we really have a talented team, and we'll just prove them wrong.
And what do you think it would mean to the program and to the school to bring home a MAC championship and go to the NCAA tournament?
I think it means a lot for basketball, but overall just for athletics, because Mary's athletics didn't really have a lot of good years in previous decades. So I really think it's going to mean a lot for everybody, not just for basketball team, but for every sport, for us to make a good result. And for community, I think it will be really fun to see McCann filled with people.
Definitely. And I know you guys going to Advocare Invitational this year in Orlando, and you're playing a top 10 team, you're in the top 25, West Virginia. How excited about that opportunity to play such a good team? I
mean, I already played West Virginia when I was in Marshall, because there was a West Virginia rivalry, and we played them, and it was probably the hardest game of my life, honestly. Really tough team to play against. So I'm excited, but I'm not gonna lie, a little bit scared, because it's a really tough team to play against. But overall, I'm really excited. Not just West Virginia. There is other really good teams. I think St. John's, Long Beach State, Nebraska, some other good teams. Really, a lot of high major teams. So it's going to be really exciting.
Definitely a lot of good teams. And do you think playing them before 2 years ago, do you think this year you'll be more, ready for them compared to last time?
Definitely. I'll be more relaxed. I think I have a bigger role in the team than I had in Marshall. I was a sixth player there, and it just I kind of didn't expect that the way they played so hard. So it was they're really strong team, really powerful team. But I think I'll be more ready for this year, more experienced to play against them.
And what do you think makes West Virginia so unique?
Just the defense they played, 40 minutes full court pressure. It's amazing.
And we'll jump into some rapid-fire questions here. Some basketball questions, some not related to basketball. Okay. But favorite TV show? What do you got for that?
Favorite TV, Friends.
Friends. Favorite pregame meal?
Probably chicken and pasta, chicken parm. Yeah.
Good call. Your favorite basketball movie?
Basketball movie. Oof. Coach Carter.
Who's funniest teammate? Who makes you laugh the most?
Funniest teammate. Wow, that's hard. There's a lot of characters in our team. Tobias, Lasse, Ryan, I don't know. Everybody's really funny. It's a fun locker room.
And who's your favorite NBA player and NBA team?
NBA player. I don't really have one favorite NBA team, because I just enjoy playing basketball. I used to be a Clippers fan, not anymore. The player, I'll just go with LeBron, basic,
all right.
But it is true.
All right, well, thank you for your time. Really appreciate you having on. When we come back, in honor of Halloween, John and Jasper will be in the building. Building their own Frankenstein. NBA players, stay tuned.
Since yesterday was Halloween, John and I thought we could get festive and create a Frankenstein of our own, made up of NBA players past and present. We put together attributes, skills, and body types of some of the best and some of the worst, and some in between to ever step foot on the court. Let's get started. So with my picks, some of the things I want to highlight here is Ray Allen's jumper, Bill Lambier's physicality, Jason Williams' passing, and Shaq's physique. I mean, with all these, I believe all of these great players, were the best in these separate categories, and they would come up and make an awesome basketball player.
I wanted to highlight what Russell Westbrook averaged a triple-double last season. How do you do that? De'Aaron Fox dominated Lonzo Ball in the tournament last year, super quick. The U.S. ambassador to North Korea, Dennis Rodman, trademark hair. Who can forget that?
Trademark.
Michael Jordan, leadership. Magic Johnson, other than Lonzo Ball, great passer. Anybody but Derrick Rose's knees, I will take. Kevin Durant might be the only player in the league who's taller than he's actually listed. Yeah.
So, John, you listed that De'Aaron Fox's speed, while I listed John Wall has good speed. So, what made you pick De'Aaron Fox?
Some of them are the Kentucky one-and-dones, isn't it? De'Aaron Fox just came into the league. They tested him on Sports Science. I don't know if you've seen that.
I believe I did, yeah.
Yeah, they compared his hand speed to a professional boxer, and he just got beaten. But, he's quick.
I will agree with you. He is very quick, but just something about John Wall and his explosiveness.
John Wall to the basket.
His ability to get to the basket is just unbelievable.
I agree. Now, hair, you had Crowder?
Yeah, Jay Crowder.
Okay.
So I didn't want to go too crazy like Dennis Rodman or a Birdman, but something about Jay Crowder's hair, it makes it very intimidating. Like, you ever watch like Predator?
Yeah.
Like, he has hair like that. And it just freaks me out. If I was on the court and I saw Predator standing right in front of me, I don't know what I'd do with myself.
Something about Rodman, though, the different colors every single game. It's wild.
Something about it just puts you in a mind game.
It fits his personality well as well.
Yeah. Very colorful.
Handles. Gotta be Kyrie. Uncle Drew.
Uncle Drew. Kyrie has amazing handles, but I believe the original Uncle Drew, Rondo. Rondo, just back when he was in 08, 09. 08, 09 Rondo was just unreal. He had that one move where he'd just fake behind the back and get it in, or fake layup and get it in.
So, beard. I went with James Harden. Have you seen the Nike T-shirts where it's just his beard? You know who it is right away. It's his trademark. It's iconic.
Iconic beard. Iconic
Absolutely.
beard. I was just going to go a little against the grain. James Harden, iconic beard. You can't go wrong with that. But have you ever seen Drew Gooden's octopus beard? It's the craziest thing I've ever seen. Drew Gooden, weird guy, decent basketball player, but something about the beard, putting it with Jay Crowder's hair, scary side of just pure.
It is No Shave November as well, so I
That's
should get to
true,
work.
yeah. We should start celebrating that.
When we come back, we'll end the show with our upcoming games of the week. Stay tuned.
My name is Corey Grip, and I'm here to bring you the 3 best college football games from this past weekend. Let's get started. Coming in at number 3, we have number 14 NC State at number 9 Notre Dame. After defeating NC State in South Bend this weekend, Notre Dame is in full control of their own destiny in the college football playoff. Led by star defensive lineman Bradley Chubb, NC State was competitive in the first half, but were unable to keep the momentum going. Trailing 21-14 at halftime and receiving the ball to start the second half, NC State quarterback Ryan Finley threw an atrocious pick six, which gave Notre Dame all they needed on their way to a 35-14 victory. Now, Notre Dame has defeated 3 top 25 opponents in Michigan State, USC, and NC State, with top 10 Miami and top 20 Stanford still to come for the Fighting Irish. Led by quarterback Brendan Wimbush, star running back Josh Adams, and a much improved defense, Notre Dame have been running all over their opponents this year, except for my team, the Georgia Bulldogs. The loss to Georgia could hurt the Irish if the Bulldogs keep winning, as the playoff committee values head-to-head results. With the Big 12 Conference in a state of flux with a 4-way tie for first place and the Pac-12 displaying no major playoff contenders, this is the year Notre Dame can possibly make their college football playoff debuts. While it wasn't pretty, Iowa State was able to pull off a significant upset on Saturday in Ames by defeating 4th-ranked TCU 14-7 for our number 2 game from this past weekend. TCU to this point in the season have been taking care of business in the Big 12, including big road wins over Oklahoma State and a home win over West Virginia. However, Iowa State doesn't care about TCU's recent success, as they were held to a season-low 7 points. Kenny Hill, the ultra-reliable quarterback for the Horned Frogs, had 2 turnovers inside the red zone. Now this win now plays in Iowa State's favor, as there's a 4-way tie atop the Big 12 standings between Iowa State, Oklahoma, Oklahoma State, and TCU. are all tied with a record of 4-1 in conference. With Iowa State having defeated Oklahoma on the road and TCU at home, they now own the tiebreaker between those two teams. And if they are able to defeat Oklahoma State at home in 2 weeks and West Virginia on the road next week, they'll have a great chance to play in the Big 12 championship. However, if TCU wins out and meets Iowa State in the conference championship game and wins, they might make the playoff. However, given their upcoming matchup against Oklahoma, in addition to the Sooners playing at Oklahoma State this weekend, the Big 12 could knock themselves out of the playoff conversation for the third time in 4 years. And our number one game from this weekend was a no-doubter and a thriller in the Buckeye State this past weekend. Led by star quarterback J.T. Barrett's 400 yards of total offense, number 6 Ohio State was able to come back and defeat number 2 Penn State after by trailing as much as 15 points in the fourth quarter by scoring with just under 2 minutes to play. The talk before the game was all about Saquon Barkley and Penn State's improved defense, and they did not disappoint to start. Penn State scored 14 points to start the game, including a kickoff return for a touchdown by Barkley and a touchdown off a forced turnover. But Ohio State's defensive line wore out Penn State as the game went on, and the Nittany Lions were unable to generate any consistent offense. This was a big blow to Penn State's college football playoff hopes, as they need Ohio State to lose twice, which might be unlikely considering easy Big Ten matchups against Michigan, Michigan State, and Iowa in the coming weeks. If the Buckeyes win out, the selection committee may overlook their early season home loss to the Oklahoma Sooners and give them a spot in the playoffs. It was certainly a great weekend in college football, and I'm looking forward to more potential upsets this upcoming weekend. I'm Corey Grip. Back to you guys at the desk.
Welcome back. To conclude the show, Jasper and I will look at the games of the week that intrigue us the most. Let's begin. What a better way to kick off your Sunday slate of sports action than with some Premier League soccer. The highly anticipated matchup between defending champions Chelsea and Manchester United is packed with storylines. Chelsea will be looking to rebound from midweek thrashing they took in the Champions League against Roma, while Manchester United manager Jose Mourinho will be returning to face his former club. Finally, some of this season's biggest transfers will be on display as United's star striker Romelu Lukaku returns to face his former club after passing on a possible return to the London Giants this summer. And Chelsea forward Alvaro Morata will aim to prove that he, not Lukaku, was the better buy last transfer window.
So how do you think that Chelsea's going to, do with their great attack?
Well, Pogba's going to be missing. It'll be interesting to see if N'Golo Kante is healthy and ready to play. I hope Chelsea gets it done, but I'm expecting a 2-2 draw.
All right. My game of the week is this Friday when the Cavs head down to the District of Columbia to face the Wizards. Cleveland has struggled as of late, losing to non-contender teams such as the Nets and the Knicks, but with Derrick Rose back from injury, things might change for the finals runner-up. I honestly think that John Wall and Bradley Beal are the best backcourt in the East, but Cleveland's star power bench might give Washington a run for their money. Overall, this is a great game to watch and might allude to an Eastern Conference playoff matchup.
When are the Cavs going to get going?
I guess after they're done with Halloween right now, so party mode's done for them.
Pennywise LeBron is not something I ever want to see.
That's all we have this week. Until next time, I'm Jasper Chu. He's John Rohr. Peace.